absolute destruction. Quantic just rolling through complexity, doesn't give up a turret. They are in the LCS.
Buzz, you're the greatest, man.
Oh my god.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Freak here with Lemonation and Balls from the victorious Quantic Gaming. So first of all, you guys are in the LCS. How's that feel?
Really good.
I don't know, it's just super great.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
Are you prepared to be pro gamers already, or is it still sinking in?
We've been practicing like in a lot of scrims, and we're like just prepared for this. Like we're just like we already knew like.
You already knew.
Yeah, we just knew.
I think this will be a lot more intense than the LCS will be.
Really?
Like getting into this, like this match itself was just so much pressure. Now that we're in, the actual games during the LCS can't be this as much. Like,
So you're just gonna slack off now?
yeah.
Just easier from here on out?
We're going winning nothing.
0-28, that's your start?
That's our goal.
All right, so let's take a step back and talk about the road you guys took to get here. So we'll start with the old Quantic squad that you were on Elimination, or I guess Cloud9 back in the day. You guys didn't make it through groups.
We did not.
How do you feel when you're like a favorite and you like, what does that do to you?
It was very depressing. We were joking about suicide.
Okay. But so then how do you recover then?
I mean, we just play the game. You got to move on. You just have to.
All right. You guys actually lost 2 of your players, Nian Tansu and Wild Turtle, both left to join LCS teams.
We lost Izuki as well.
Yeah, and Yuzuki. Yuzuki actually just left. I think he quit, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, even then, like it just feels like more stuff is piled against you. How do you persevere and just grab new players and say, no, we'll get it this time?
Well, I mean, they all left, intermittently. We had Wild Turtle for a while,
Okay.
so we stayed together as Wild Turtle, High, and me. And then Wild Turtle got a really good opportunity with GSM. And we got our new AD carry, Sneaky Castro, who's like a great replacement. Like, he's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, you just pick up new players, find the best you can, and people you like, and it all works out. Or it all worked out for us, I guess.
Of course. So, Balls, you got a similar story. Your team didn't quite make it to the LCS. What kind of kept you going and striving for the next season?
well, me Playground was like just Lemon got my support. He just like wanted to make it to LCS, and like if he didn't make it, he would have like just go to college. And yeah, I was just gonna kind of just go to college, but he just asked me, and I was like, okay. So it's like, yeah.
So how's the transition to being a top lane going for you?
It's going good. I like top lane. Like, I really like to play AD, but since they asked me to join as a top laner, and Turtle was the AD too, and Turtle was really good. So I was like, okay, I'll play top lane for that team.
How hard is it to transition into a new role on a new team as well?
It wasn't that hard for me since I played top lane for like a long time. And playing as an AD carry, like, I know what an AD can do, and like playing every role just helps for me, like to see what they can do and stuff.
So coming into this match, you played against Nick Wu. You fought against him directly in Game 1 and Game 3. How did those lanes go for you?
I just kind of wanted to scrap and see what he does. Like, that's just how I play, like really aggro. And yeah, it's worked out.
Okay. So, of course, you could have researched the team. They had an entire season of LCS games to watch. How much did you learn from research versus learning from fighting with him in the beginning of the lane and seeing how he was performing?
Research, we just knew Nick Wu play. He loves Zed, and also Jace.
And Shen a lot, too.
And Shen a lot too, but we weren't worried about the top lane that much. Just more of probably their mid laner. And we're just trying to get what we want instead of what they want. We didn't want to tunnel that.
Yeah, we didn't ban any champs we played. We left open every OP champ because we play all the OP champs basically, so we just left open everything and just got what we wanted.
Do you think that's the right strategy for most teams? Just leave all of your options open and just play your own strategy?
Well, I mean, you got to learn the OP champs, and then you can just, like, so many other teams don't actually like learn the OP champs like we do. They just play like what they want to play. Like they stick to their own strategy, and I don't think that's the way to go. I think you have to adapt.
And that's why you ran Sona all 3 games?
Yeah, that is why.
So I have a question for you specifically because you're the only support I see very, very frequently pick Summoner Heal. What makes that one so good?
It's The best late game summoner, like in team fights, it heals everyone for like 300, and it's just really good to have that. The passive, if you take the mastery, is just huge. It gives you, I don't know, it's like a 21 point for a 21st point in the masteries. It's that good.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you get to be actually tanky on Sona and then just heal the entire team and just everything. So that's really awesome. So then kind of walk me through the rest of your your sort of champion select strategy. Like, what were the synergies you were looking for there, or was it just like grab bag of this guy's good, this guy's good, this guy's good?
It was more of a grab bag.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, we have all the OP champs we play. We were just trying to get the order we thought for each player of what we wanted.
Okay.
And we kind of did every game, so it worked out. Yeah.
Okay, so walk me through then how the game's progressed, because it seems like you guys, I mean, every single one of you is a challenger solo queue, first of all. So you're all ludicrously good at the game. And you guys just won your lanes. Was that just individual skill, or were there matches you're looking for, or how'd that work out?
Individual skill is just like the most important thing in the game. Like, if you can't win your lane, then you pretty much can't do much after that towards the team fight. So that's what I think we're best at, individual skill. Just winning every lane just sets the mood for the game.
Okay. Do you think that was specifically maybe complexity that they were a little bit lacking compared to other LCS teams, or do you think you can just win lanes against teams like TSM and GGU?
It's pretty much against every team.
I mean, in scrims, we've been beating all of the LCS teams then pretty consistently.
Do you actually want to talk about that a little bit? I know scrims can be very, very private, but how are you doing in scrims against the other, really, really good teams in the world?
We've been scrimming TSM and DIG the most, and we've been scrimming CLG and Curse a little bit, and we have highly positive records versus all of them.
So then what's your, I'm not going to ask record, but what place are you going to finish in the end of the summer split, 1 through 8?
8th.
8th. Winning scrim records, finishing 8th.
Yes.
Yep. Pretty much.
That's our plan.
That's our plan.
Yeah.
Plan for 8th. All
We just want to get in, pretty much.
We're done now.
Goes through the season. No scrims. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much, and a lot of positive energy in you guys. Apparently, you're going for the 8th place finish. I guess the only team you're going to hear say that that's their goal in the season, but you've heard it from Quantic. They are the confident ones. So congratulations again to you guys. 3-0 victory, 5-0 on the weekend. You're in the LCS. It's going to be beautiful stuff. But to break down some of the key points of that game, let's send it over to Kobe to break it down.
All right, thank you, Freak. I've got 2 clips for you from the Quantic games. The first one is going to be the first blood in Game 2. That I'm really just showing to display how Quantic, they make the normal play that a normal team would make, but then they take it one step further. All right, so this one is going to be set up. Quantic, yesterday I talked about how they have great control of the map and they make plays after that. Right here, they've drawn 5 members of Complexity down to the bottom side of the map with only 4 of their members, and they left Rumble up here pushing in the top. So this is going to buy them a lot of free time in that top lane. The normal play here, Rumble is just going to shove this top lane up to the turret because nobody's guarding it. You want all the minions to die to that turret. But then he takes it one step further, and he goes from here all the way around into this side bush, and he uses the minion wave that he built up as a giant minion wave of money, a big pot of bait here that he's going to use at the top turret. You don't always have to use your own life to bait. You can actually use the minions instead. So let's run this at double speed, and we'll get to the action quickly. All the 5 members of Complexity down here in the bottom side, and Balls is just going to do his thing up top here and push that one. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, they have this, the magic trick really, you always want to have some distraction down in the mid lane, so they make a few flashy plays down here while buying Balls time to get into position up here. And now, Prawley is just going to walk, let's pause it here. Probably just has no idea. He walks right into this one, hook, line, and sinker, and that's going to be the easiest first blood that we've seen pretty much all day long. All right, we can run this one out. There's nothing that Paulie can do. He just gets incinerated right here, burns him down very quickly. Now, let's take a look at pretty much the team fight that got Quantic into the LCS. This is the Dragon fight. They were already ahead, and this one just completely turned it. It went from bad to worse for Complexity. All right, so let's run this one. We started off with Lattimore trying to get a steal. He doesn't quite get it. would just be a regular Ryza here. Pause right here. We just had the miss steal, so it wasn't too bad. But now, the rest of Complexity, they're all trying to come in, and they're split up. We have 2 members on the very top and 2 members on the very bottom here, while Loudamortis is by himself in the Dragon Pit. Very bad position. Lemonation, it doesn't even matter that he only hit 1 person with that crescendo, and that Walls only got 1 person with his Rumble ultimate, because the split of Complexity, not going to do a lot of work for them. Let's run the rest of this clip, normal speed. He does get in, and since Balls doesn't have his ultimate anymore, they're going to burn him down. But Meteos, his AoE damage inside that Dragon Pit, going to be able to win the one for them. And Trooper and MIA up top, let's pause it here. They were zoned out the entire fight, basically by high, just 1 man zoning 2 people, and they didn't add the damage that Complexity needed because they started so split up. Now, they still have the Twisted Fate ultimate, they get the catch, and Meteos is going to follow this one up, continue to roll the clip. They get 2 more executes, and at this point, Loudamortis is the last man standing, but he goes in to try and finish off high, doesn't get the kill, and since the smite is gone now, that means that they'll also get Baron. So it went from Dragon to Ace, to Dragon, Ace, and Baron. Just completely downhill for Complexity right there. Well played by Quantic. And that's really been the story of all their games. They completely just steamroll everyone. Let's send it back to the guys at the desk.
Thanks very much, Kobe. So I'd like to welcome back to the desk the 3rd member of this analytical triumvirate, GGU's Don't Mash Me. So 3-0. Did you expect, I know you kept calling that Complexity would pull it back, but would you have believed it if I told you at the beginning of the day?
I knew Quantic had a chance, but I thought it'd be a bit closer, but in the end, it wasn't that close.
So what was the big determining factor? You know, you mentioned some of the champion picks and whatnot at the very beginning, but looking at Game 3, a little bit closer, but still the 3-0. What was so good for Quantic here?
Just momentum. I think they handled the momentum really well, and I don't think Complexity stayed positive. I think they just kind of crumbled a bit.
So if you're kind of trying to analyze the strengths or weaknesses of their team, what is the strength of Quantic in their ability to 3-0 those guys?
Just individual skill, and I think overall they were just better than Complexity today.
So how do you look at a team like that? Because you know GGU 2nd place, obviously an amazing team. You guys are all-stars as well. Does the individual talent on that team worry you guys?
I don't think so. I just felt like eventually, I think they had more teamwork. Honestly, they had better synergy. They predicted like counter ganks really well, and they just executed really well today.
So then how would you specifically, right, your team has to face them, let's say, in week 1 or something.
Okay.
What's that game going to look like?
Judging from how they play, I think, like I said, we have to play a lot more aggressive than them and just outplay them and just outsmart them. Because they are a really aggressive team, and you got to know what they're doing and just counterplay that.
Okay.
Yeah, we saw them just absolutely dominate. And if obviously Lemonation, I think, was messing around a little bit with the 8th place finish. If you had to, I know we asked you this a bit during the second interview as well. If you had to place them in the overall strength of the LCS, would they be top 4, or they still have work to do?
Give me 5 seconds to think. I give them a really close to 5th spot around in the middle, because they are a very strong team and no one should really mess with them.
Oh, so right under you, Dignitas, TSM, and Curse, that's where Quantic belongs.
They could go for top 4, but I think they still got a lot of work to do to face the big dogs.
So if you were like their coach,
yeah,
right, and had to get them up to the point where they're a top 2 team, maybe they go to the World Playoffs, what do you have them work on?
Just mentality and just how you think of your teammates, because what made us really good is trusting your team and playing as a team, and no matter how bad the game is going, you're still a team.
Okay, so let's take a look forward a little bit throughout the day, because we've got another best of 5 here, Marn versus Velocity. What's your call on this best of 5?
This is actually a hard one. I'm kind of rooting for Velocity, but at the same time, I believe Marn can still stick up the spot. They're actually a really good team, but I'm rooting for Velocity.
All right, rooting for Velocity. Of course, in Europe, we saw 3 of the teams from Challenger usurp the LCS teams. In NA, we've got 1-0 so far. Now, early in the show, guys, we asked you which player from the Challenger teams do you think would add the most excitement to the North American LCS, and why? So here's what you guys had to say. First off, from Maple Street, because of all the sibling rivalry that would happen between him and the Odd One.
Yeah, that would be a pretty interesting thing there. Based on the sibling rivalry, that actually can't happen in the LCS next split, based off Nick Wu and
Claky D.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Do you have a brother who could play?
No.
Any of your teammates have a brother who could play? Like,
all of them are old. They suck at the game. We played Dota back in the day, but I guess that doesn't really count. But yeah, no.
All right, fair enough. We'll go on to the next one. And our next question, our next answer is, I think Big Fat LP will bring the most excitement if he qualifies by defeating his old team. What beats that?
Nothing. I don't know. I feel it is kind of a grudge match, and I think he really wants to defeat Link and assert his dominance in the mid lane.
So actually I have a question on that as well, because you guys beat, you guys had to face off against Bloodwater after you went and joined Vulcan. Like, how's it feel to beat a team like that?
We didn't beat them. I think they beat us, actually. But
okay.
I don't know. At the end of the day, it's no hard feelings, but it's kind of like you're in game. I want to kill this guy. I want him to die 10 times. It's like that kind of, but in reality, no, it's not like that. We're still friends.
That's good to hear, of course. So let's pull up the next question. It says, I think Chris, at the moment, there's 2 top laners considered dominant, Dyrus and Voyboy. Chris may be able to provide that third and spice things up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, Mega Zero and crew might have something to say about that, even the Zion Spartan. But you know what? Chris does have a pretty defining personality. He has played a lot of top lane, and people definitely know what he does in the top lane. You seem to think a little otherwise.
I don't know. I don't think he notices Zion or Mega Zero a lot. I think on a good day they can beat Voyboy and Dyrus and be dominant.
How actually do you feel about, because Chris is going to be heads up against Mega Zero really, really soon. How do you feel about that heads up?
It's kind of even because they both main Riven. But I don't think it's going to happen because I think 1v2s are going to occur.
All right, and of course, Mega is already the best Riven NA, guys. It's official. Well, let's move on to the next answer. And he says that I would say high. He's crazy and can usually make big plays when needed. He also has a pretty large champion pool.
I actually agree to that. But for some reason, I think he plays really like physical melee assassins over AP in the mid lane. But yeah, he does have a big champ pool.
It'll really depend on how he adapts to as the season moves on and forward. Because like right now, we can always say Quantic is really good in this patch, but we've seen some other teams not adjust that well to the patches. And since, especially what Lemonation was talking about, they like to play whatever they think is OP, it's going to change, and we'll have to probably switch it up at some point.
And we'll see how that team evolves. So, guys, remember to please keep those answers coming. We are at LOL Esports, and please make sure to use the hashtag LCS.
And now that we've heard what you had to say on Twitter, we want to hear from you about the LCS. Go to bit.ly/LCSFanFeedback and share your thoughts with us. And now, let's take a look at the summer promotion bracket.
So with their dominating 3-game sweep in today's first matchup, Quantic has earned the weekend's first spot in the summer split. And our next best-of-5 series features Marn versus Velocity Esports. Mega Zero and the crew look to regain their place in the LCS when they take on Maple Street and the Challengers.
The 2013 North American Summer Promotion Tournament will be right back, so keep your Site Wars planted right here.